So I'm just gonna introduce myself. My name is Eddie Omega. I'm with Royal Alberta College. We're heading this project to try to teach students about budgeting. I have here with me today Tim Roden. Did I get it right?
Yep, yep.
Perfect. Tim, if you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your background.
I've been teaching high school for over 20 years. I teach mathematics, some business education, some career and life management stuff. Over that course of those years, I've taught budgeting within various aspects of those. I do some accounting and bookkeeping on the side, so I understand the expenses and income and the effects of having a good budget.
Perfect, perfect. Sounds like you're the perfect guy to be talking to today.
Maybe not perfect, but I'll see what I can do.
Close enough, right? So we're gonna talk about needs and wants. Okay.
Yep.
So as far as budgeting goes, how does that correlate?
It's essential to understand your needs and your wants, and your needs must be met. Just like we studied psychology and Maslow talked about the basic needs that must be met in human beings. Budgeting, we must meet our basic financial needs. And we need to understand the difference between our needs and our wants. Our needs are the things that are essential for your survival, your physical survival, your financial survival. And wants are those things that make life a little better, a little more enjoyable, a little more pleasurable. Your needs come first. These are your financial obligations that must be met each month. We have our physiological, our food, shelter, clothing, healthcare, societal, transportation. And in today's world, communication is very hard to survive without having some form of communication. And then you might have some financial needs, meeting your loans and your credit card obligations. Wants are items and events in your life that you have more control over in regards to how much you're going to spend. They're the enjoyable things: entertainment, clothing, communication. Savings is more than what's left over at the end of the month. Savings should be something on your budget. You should plan to save some money. We'll get back, spend more time talking about savings. And savings is a want, something you would want to have on your budget. Some items move from a need to a want depending on how much you spend on them. The true thing is, ask yourself a question. You need to be honest with yourself. Is this something I can't live without? And I mean literally, not the figuratively, I can't live without this. If your answer is yes, you can live without it, it's a want. If the answer is no, if the answer is yes, I can't live without this, that's a need. If the answer is no, then put it back on the shelf and wait till another time. So then we prioritize our needs and our wants to figure out what's most important to you. Put them most important to least important. Your needs have to be at the top. Those are the things that are most important. At the bottom of the list of things you can live without, at least for a short-term period of time. These are items that get trimmed when you get over budget. It's useful to put categories of your needs and wants and labels in the groups that are meaningful to you. Categories make it quicker to monitor and evaluate your average spending rather than specific detailed activities. If your budget has eating at restaurant A, eating at restaurant B, eating at restaurant C, some of those months you're going to have zeros there, even though you budgeted money for them. And then restaurant D was the only one you went to, you overspent. So rather than that, we have a dining out kind of activity. So we put categories of our needs and wants to make it easier to track. Some categories, you may have realized I said it, are both needs and wants. I said clothing and communication. Clothing is a basic essential need. I live in a cold climate here. Very important to have warm clothing in the winter. That's a need. Very important to have 6 different designer coats in my closet. That's a want. Communications. Do I need Wi-Fi unlimited at home? Unlimited data at home? Do I need unlimited data on my phone, or do I just need one? If I'm at school and I use the school Wi-Fi most of the time and rarely use Wi-Fi at home or data at home, do I really need unlimited? So yes, I need communications, but how much do I need? I need communications, but does my want tell me I want unlimited? Some of the common categories your budget should have would be housing, transportation and food, clothing, health and personal care, entertainment and leisure, miscellaneous, and the important one, savings.
Okay. As far as determining your needs and wants, I know you touched on it a little bit, but in reality, how difficult is it to separate yourselves from your wants and categorizing them into a need?
Separate yourself from your wants and categorize to a needs? No, that's the easy one. It's the other way. When I put everything in my needs and I have to actually realize it's a want, that's the challenge. But on that note, dining out is one that's a gray area. If I have a busy lifestyle and I can't get, and I go from school to work, and sometimes I'm forced to eat on the run, dining out becomes a food item. If I often go to fancier restaurants and I do that as an entertainment, then dining out is not necessarily a need. It's not food, it's entertainment. So yeah, we get those gray areas between things we find entertaining, things we find that make us more happy than the basic necessities of life is the hard part. I think probably entertainment and food is probably one of those areas which it's tough. Rent, that's a need. Utilities to keep the lights on, that's a need. Food, clothing, that's where our needs and wants have the big blur. And it's very easy to say I need things as a and not realizing it's really just something you want. How many subscriptions do you need for stuff that you're watching on TV or on your computer when you should be studying? That was me in school. I should have been studying.
Okay. No, I mean, I think that point can go to anybody, not just students.
Yes,
Uh, I can use myself as an example.
I still can all of it.
But no, you're absolutely right. I think it's worth the thought, right? Just be able to be honest with yourself,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
And savings is probably the one that it's a want that's really close to a need. We need all to be saving money. We need to be saving for the rainy day. We need to be saving for the events. We need to be saving for our future because we're going to school for something different. So it's a short-term pain now for long-term gain. And savings is a want because it's adjustable, but it's borderlines on that need. We should be saving some money for our future, even if it's just to go away on a trip when you finally graduate and get your job.
Yeah. I think the discipline of saving is more important, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I believe back to the cultural thing. I think some cultures value saving much more than other ones. And yes, very important.
Yeah, for sure.